That's my song.
Hello, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Dre and Jay. We got
Yeah.
some big news. Yeah, we might be a little bit late, but it's still a hot topic going on in the NFL community. Before we go ahead and dive in, we're up to 49 subscribers. Help us pass that 50 threshold. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the video.
Yeah.
That way, more football fans, or it doesn't even matter what sport you like. Fans all around the world
If you want to
can
talk about hockey, we can talk about hockey.
can enjoy the world can enjoy the video. So just want to mention that before we dive right in. But we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about Xavien Howard requesting a trade. He recently went public on Instagram saying that he feels like he's given his heart and soul to the
Snake.
Miami Dolphins organization, but he feels like he's been backstabbed because he's been trying to make an agreement with the Dolphins organization based on his very high performance year where he got defensive player of the year votes and he was voted all pro. So we're gonna go ahead and dive right into this. I'm gonna pull up the Instagram post that Xavien Howard posted that shocked the world. Well, it didn't really shock the world, but just kind of made the whole situation a lot more tense between the Miami Dolphins and Xavien Howard. So Dre's gonna go ahead and read it, and we'll go ahead and break it down piece by piece. So if I can go ahead and pull this up.
Let's go.
Uh, let's see here. Are you able to see that?
Let me put the little reading skills to use. Let's see.
Are you able to see?
Just a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's straight.
All right. Let's go
All
ahead.
right. Let me see. How would Xavier Howard sound?
Okay, man.
I'm sorry. I'm
Just
sorry.
read it.
I've given my heart and soul to the Miami Dolphins franchise since they drafted me in 2016 and want to make it clear that I love my teammates. Okay, buddy. They are my family, but what I've learned is that the business side of the NFL proves organizations don't always have a player's best interests at heart. My experience with the Dolphins the past few seasons has taught me that in 2018, I signed an extension that I'll admit I didn't completely understand or feel comfortable with. I've played on that deal for 2 seasons and didn't complain, but everyone knows I've significantly outperformed that deal. I'm one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, and the tape backs that up. The assignments I'm given, shadowing the opposition's best player with little help, proves my value, my worth. Yet I'm the second highest paid cornerback on my own team, and it's not even close. Pocket watch it. Let me continue. I want to clear up a few misconceptions about my situation. My David, my agent David Cantor and I never once asked for a completely new contract. We wanted to work out with the Dolphins and brought solutions to the table, like guaranteeing more money that we felt were win wins for both sides. These were proposals of adjustments that wouldn't just make me feel more respected, but were also cap friendly. But the Dolphins refused everything we proposed. This is why I don't feel the organization has dealt with me in good faith. I don't feel valued or respected by the Dolphins. Just like they can take business first approach, so can I. That's why I want to make it clear I'm not happy and have requested a trade. Until that trade happens, I am just here so I won't get fined and will handle myself like the professionals do. Xavier Howard. That man is a fool, bruh. This man think
Alrighty.
he think he
Alrighty.
beast mode. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Face.
Alrighty. So we're gonna go ahead and break this down. So firstly, um, Xavier Howard said that in 2018 he signed an extension that he'll admit that he did not completely understand or feel comfortable with. So first of all, how in the world do you sign a contract that you don't completely understand? Is that not the reason why you have an agent? Like, does that make any sense? I don't get that. What does he mean he didn't understand the contract? He said he played on that deal for 2 seasons, didn't complain, but everyone knows I've significantly outperformed that deal. So first of all, for those of you who are not that educated on the Xavien Howard situation, he signed an extension, and if I'm not mistaken, it was 2019 actually, not 2018. Um, so he signed a 5-year extension, $75 million. Okay, so the first year of that contract, first of all, he said he's played 2 seasons on the contract extension so far. He's only played one because 2019 was the last year of his contract and 20 of his rookie contract, and 2020 was the first year of his extension. So he's only played 1 season officially on that deal. So first of all, that's incorrect. Secondly, you can't say you significantly outperformed the deal if you've only played 1 year of the contract. That doesn't make any sense. You still have 5 more years, or I'm sorry, 4 more years of the contract that you have to finish. So I don't
He
see
was
how.
right about what he was right about one thing. He don't understand the contract.
Yeah, you could tell he doesn't understand the contract, and no wonder he fired his agent because it looked like he didn't understand the shit either. excuse my French because I don't usually use bad language on this channel. But secondly, so let's go ahead and continue on with that. So first of all, you've only played one. Now, if he wants to say he performed that year of the deal based on the amount of money he was making, that's fair. He was making an average of 15 million, and maybe he felt like he could have been making 20 million based on the year he had. If that's how you feel, that's fair. Nobody's knocking you for that.
I'm not.
This is the thing that bugs me the most. He says he's shadowing the opposing best players with little help, which is not true, because last year Byron Jones and Xavien Howard were flip-flopping on who they were covering. Sometimes X covered the number one receiver, sometimes Byron Jones covered the number one receiver. So that's false information right there. And then he says, I'm the second highest paid cornerback on my team, and it's not even close. So now everybody that was talking about this whole situation saying, oh, Xavien Howard, he doesn't care about being the highest paid. He just wants to be paid more than Byron Jones. And everybody came out and was like, bro, if that's the case, we got some big problems on our hands. And now it looks like he's saying that now it's some tension going on in the room now, because he's saying I'm not even the second highest paid corner on my team, and it's not even close. So, I mean, what do you think about that, Dre?
Bro, the man, the pocket watcher of the state, bro. You know what I think happened, bro? You know they down in Miami. Byron Jones like, hey, bro, hey, let's slide to my crib real quick. And probably saw that he had more garages, more cars.
So
it started hating, bro.
Okay, 1 second here. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Byron Jones' contract situation, just to show that it's not even close, let's go ahead and show. Let me see if I can do this real quick.
Show Byron Jones' contract, bro.
How do I do this?
I think he probably only make 1 or 2 mil more than him, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not mistaken. All right, so let me try to see if I can zoom into this, because I'm trying to figure out what exactly he's talking about. Okay, so if you look, Byron Jones' contract was 5 years, 82 million. Xavien Howard's was 5 years, 75. Now, if you look at the yearly average, 16 million for Byron Jones and 15 million for Xavien Howard. Now, here's where I could understand somewhat where he's coming from. If you can look there, it said if you look at the difference between the guaranteed money, Xavien Howard was guaranteed 40 million. Byron Jones was guaranteed 54. So that's about a $14 million difference. So maybe that's what he was talking about when he said he has guaranteed money. But come on, anybody with a brain knows that which Xavien Howard has had an injury history, so the Dolphins are going to be less prone to want to give you more guaranteed money. Byron Jones has not had an injury history. He might have had an injury here and there that might have, but in terms of
He's never had to miss significant games. He's the guy you can rely on to play all 16 weeks if you need him.
Exactly. He's never had a situation where he's been out a significant amount of time. And based on looking at Byron Jones' statistics, he's played 16 games when he was in Dallas before he came to Miami. He only missed one game when he was in the Dallas Cowboys uniform. And those of you who are familiar with him this year, he missed 2 games. But based on what he earned for the contract, he earned that guaranteed money. He has performed very well on the field, and he hasn't had an injury history. Now, Xavien Howard, on the other hand, has had, for those of you who don't know, 3 knee surgeries. He had one in his rookie year. He had one in 2018 that kept him out of a couple of games. So in 2018, he played 12. If I'm not mistaken, he played 12 out of the 16 games, even though he had 7 interceptions. But he did have to have meniscus knee surgery. And then 2019, he had to get knee surgery again. So he's had 3 knee surgeries. So, of course, I mean, you're not going to have that much guaranteed money because the team doesn't really have the legitimate trust. We can't trust that you're going to stay healthy.
And so isn't he injured right now?
Well, let's. I don't want to go into that yet. We're gonna address that a little bit later. That was a little spoiler.
Hold it back.
We're gonna address that a little bit later.
Bring it back.
But I mean, in terms of what he's saying, where he says the contract is not even close, I mean, unless he's talking about the guaranteed money, it's a reason why it's not close. You've had an injury history, so I mean, I don't really understand how you could say that it's not even close between the two of you in terms of the amount of money that you guys are making. So I feel like right off the bat, I feel like I think me and Dre have discussed this privately, but I feel like Xavien Howard purposely said that as a way for the Dolphins to say, oh, you have to trade me now because now I'm causing controversy on the team. So I felt like he threw that in there on purpose. I don't even think it was about Byron Jones. I just think he probably feel like he's good enough to be one of the highest paid. I don't think it had anything to do with Byron Jones. I think he just used that as leverage to try to force his way out of Miami. But let's go ahead and continue on. He says, my agent David Cantor, if I'm reading that correctly, says, I have never once asked for a completely new contract. There was a lot of speculation saying that that Xavien Howard wanted an extension or he wanted a new contract or whatever the case may be. But according to what he's saying here, he's pretty much saying he just wanted more guaranteed money, which we just went over that. The reason why the Dolphins according to what he said later on, he says that every proposal they gave to the Dolphins, they shot him down. Why do you think? Because you haven't shown that you could consistently stay healthy. So we're not going to give you more guarantee. We're not going to give you more guaranteed money because you haven't shown to us that you can stay healthy on a consistent basis. This season he played all 16 games, but the year before he was injured. The year before that he was injured. So, I mean, can you really blame the Dolphins for not wanting to give you more guaranteed money? Now, don't get me wrong. He had an amazing year. Got defensive player of the year, folks. All pro. So I can understand why you may feel like you're worth more money. There's nothing wrong with that. But you cannot blame this organization for not wanting to give you more guaranteed money because you have not been able to prove to us that you could consistently stay healthy. So that's why it looks like that has to be the only reason in my mind why the Dolphins would refuse to give him more guaranteed money. He says he doesn't feel like the organization has dealt with me in good faith. the 5 year, $75 million contract. For those of you that don't know, when Xavien Howard signed that, it made him the highest ported corner in NFL history. So
If
you
that's not
can't say
respect, I don't know
so
what
you
is.
so if that's not respecting you, I don't know what is. I don't know what else to say to you. Of course, well, basically, I feel like Xavien Howard is trying to say he feels like he could have leveraged more money from the Dolphins, because a lot of people say the Dolphins got Xavien Howard on a bargain, but yet the contract made him the highest paid corner. So how much more money could he have wanted? Now, don't get me wrong. If he didn't have the injury history, he probably could have got an extra $5 million. It probably could have been 5 years, $80 million. Who knows? But that injury factor definitely played a significant part of the contract. You know, so you can't blame the Dolphins for you to say that the Dolphins don't value you. I feel like that's pretty crazy. But I feel like another piece that people are not mentioning on why Xavien Howard, the Dolphins might not want to give Xavien Howard more guaranteed money, is because they just drafted Noah Igbenogany in the first round, uh, um, and a lot of people feel like that was supposed to be his replacement. So if
Hmm.
that's supposed to be his replacement, the Dolphins are not gonna lock onto you long term. They're just trying to. I hate to say it, but it looks like they're just trying to use him until Noah Igbenogany is ready to play. So maybe that's the Dolphins' approach. Now, don't get me wrong. He says, I feel like I could take a business approach. If the Dolphins want to take a business approach, so can I. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. This is the thing that really kills me at the end. Until that trade happens, I am just here so I don't get fined, and I will handle myself like professionals do. Professionals do not come out on Instagram asking to be traded. They keep the things in house and they discuss their concerns with the organization privately. Brian, when Xavier Howard first didn't come to camp, Brian Flores stated that he wants everything, all the contract situations going on between them. He wants to keep them in house. He wants to keep it privately, and that's
Yeah.
the way that he intends for it to stay. So, I mean, I've given my breakdown, ripping this whole thing apart. What are your thoughts on the situation? You feel like Xavier Howard was not truly valued? Do you feel like he deserves to get more guaranteed money? I mean, you kind of did answer in between, but I want to get your full outlook on this situation.
He felt like he was backed into a corner back in 2018, 2019, while they were in contract negotiations. He understands that he has injury problems, but he believes in himself. You could tell with his swagger, his attitude on the field. He goes out there, he gives it his 100%. He has this demeanor about him that he feels like he's one of the best, and I would have to agree. He's up there. He's top five corners in the NFL, and I'm not just saying that because he's a Dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
The talent is there, and he's a ball hawk. I love me
Right.
a good ball hawk in the secondary. Um, I just feel like you can't blame the team. Like you're not gonna get the 70 or 80 mil guaranteed like some of these other guys because you're not durable. You're like Demi Lovato's hit song "Skyscraper," like I'm made of glass, like I'm made of paper. You just you you putting the team in a bad situation when you try to get greedy like that. And despite being the highest paid corner at the time you signed, if you didn't like the contract, bro, you should have just bet on yourself and signed to a shorter term deal with more money. And hopefully everything would have worked out for the best, and you would have got paid the next year.
Exactly. Let me actually go ahead and I forgot to mention that. I think Xavier Howard feels like he could have leveraged himself more money,
Yup,
obviously,
he got backed
and
into a corner.
and he got backed into a corner because the agent is probably saying, "Look, man, you need to secure that bag, get as much money as you can." But then X is thinking in his head, "Bro, I feel like if I can stay healthy, which he hasn't shown that prior to signing the extension, but if I can stay healthy, I could I could probably secure myself more guaranteed money than they're trying to promise me now. But the agent's sitting here like, no, man, take the deal, take the deal. And then he ends up firing his agent, I guess, because now it looks like he could have secured a bigger bag than he already did. So Xavien Howard probably would have been better off. I mean, obviously in hindsight now, like you mentioned, he probably would have been better off trying to bet on himself. And if he would have folded, and if it didn't work and he got injured again, then he would have been in real deep trouble. But I mean,
it would have been veterans minimum for the rest of his career.
But you're right. He probably, if he feels like he didn't, I don't really get the part where he said, I didn't really understand the contract. That's kind of stupid to me. That's why you have an agent by your side going over the contract details.
But that's why the agent's fired.
So I feel like he was pretty much trying to say, but he probably didn't want to say it. He probably felt like he could have got more money. He probably felt like he could have got better dollars.
But what if he's
why did Xavien Howard mention in the Instagram post that he's always injured? How come you didn't mention that?
And what about him? Like, he's speaking in hindsight. Like, he's had one good season. Like, he's an up and down type of player.
That's kind of debatable. I'll say he had two really good seasons because he did have 7 interceptions in 2018. And that was with only playing 12 games. So
he was still getting rotted, though.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Xavien Howard and me as a Dolphins fan, I've always stood by this. He's not a great cover corner, but he's a very, very good ball hawk. And the fact that he's a very good ball hawk, it masks the deficiencies that he has when it comes to locking guys down. And I've stood by that, and I'll continue to stand by that. The Madden, I saw that the Madden NFL corner ratings came out today, and I was looking on Twitter. He's at 91, which is number 6 ranked. And a lot of people were like, X got robbed. And I'm like, if you want to say X got robbed, I could see if you could say that his rating should be higher. But if you put his rating that much higher, you're knocking one of those other guys down the list. You're not knocking off Jalen Ramsey off the list. You're not knocking off how do you say his name? Alexander.
Jair Alexander.
So I mean, I honestly, it's a fair assessment. I know it's a video game, but I don't know, man. I just feel like this is it's crazy. I just feel like I don't understand how you can say that you didn't understand the contract. That's just kind of puzzling to me. I feel like he felt that he could have leveraged more money by trying to bet on himself. And the agent's sitting there like, no, man, take this deal that they're trying to give you. Take the guarantee. And that's what ends up happening.
He make it seem like he got locked into a 360 deal. But anyways, that's
what. Hold on. I still got a little bit more. Go
ahead.
You trying to end the video? we not done, man. So bro, I want to talk about Brian Flores' comment on the whole situation. Firstly, on the first day of training camp, Brian Flores is generally in charge of playing the music at training camp. And he played this at training camp. He played the song by Kanye West, "Can't Tell Me Nothing." La 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 la. Wait till I get my money. So I feel like he was trying to troll Xavien Howard during the training camp. So that was one thing that somebody had mentioned on Twitter. But about the whole situation, it looks like the Dolphins are not interested in trading Xavien Howard and meeting his trade request. Brian Flores commented on the situation, saying that we feel like this is a situation that can definitely be salvaged. We know the type of player that X is to our team. We understand his importance, but again, we're gonna continue contract discussions with him to try to come to an agreement on the long-term plans. but they have no interest in trading him. And then the next day, there was news that came out by a credible source, Ian Rappaport, that said 2 playoff teams have given the Dolphins an offer on Xavien Howard. Do you have, off the top of your head, any teams that were in the playoffs last year that you think could definitely use an Xavien Howard right now? Are there any teams that really jump out to you that could? I mean, because in my opinion, unless the Dolphins get an offer they can't refuse, they're not trading Xavien Howard. They're not going to give him the demand that he wants. I don't feel like it. And if they do trade him, and it's not going to be anytime soon. Before you answer, there was actually news that came out today that you mentioned earlier that Xavien Howard suffered a minor injury in practice. When people saw that he was sidelined, there was a lot of news going around on Twitter saying that they think the Dolphins pulled him because he might be in the center of a trade right now. But that was quickly shot down because a lot of the Dolphins reporters were saying that he suffered a minor injury, but he just stood on the sideline the rest of the afternoon. So what do you think about that? Is there any teams that jump off the map? Forget the playoff teams. Is there any teams that jump off right off the map that could really use an Xavien Howard right now? Maybe lacking cornerback depth, or what do you think? I've seen the thing that I've seen the most so far is Xavien Howard to the Saints, and then obviously to the Texans for the Deshaun Watson situation. But I've seen a lot to the Saints, which is kind of puzzling to me because they're kind of in salary cap hell themselves over there in New Orleans. So I don't really understand how they could afford them unless they're trying to give us something back. But is there any teams that really jump out to you right now that might be interested in Xavien Howard?
To be honest, no, not really. If there was any offers, bro, they would have pulled the trigger already. Cause the man went to talk about another teammate's money. He would have been gone by now, bro. I really can't see what teams really want.
Like I said, I stand by the fact I'm not really what. So what are you trying to say that's gonna steer teams away from one of him on their team? Is that what you're trying to say?
The man at locker room cancer now, bro.
Let me tell you something. I feel like it's going to be hard for them to even try to trade him, and teams might try to lowball him because whatever team trades for him, they're going to have his contract situation on their hands now.
To be honest, Kansas City is the only team I'll probably think that Andy Reid will probably try with him.
Yeah, but
the Chiefs would probably trade, but I don't know what they have. Like they finish with great records every year. Their first round pick won't mean anything. It's not of significance.
Okay.
What are they going to give up? Or what are they going to give up? They don't really. They could give up the young running back, but I don't think the Dolphins really care about Clyde Edwards.
Nah, I don't see that happening.
And their defense, you don't want to give. They don't have anything on defense that really stands out to me that they could trade back.
Yeah, I don't think they would want to trade any of their defensive pieces.
How about this, bro? Pat Mahomes for Xavien Howard straight up, bro.
Shut up, man.
They got it.
But that's pretty much it. I just feel like my stance a couple of days ago was that I feel like he was gonna get traded any moment because once everybody saw the whole I'm not even the highest paid corner on my team. Once I saw that, I was like, oh yeah.
What did I say when we first saw it? I was like, bruh.
I was like, they gotta get him out of here.
By the end of the day, no teams want him, bruh. Because how do you keep that in the locker room, bruh? You imagine he walk into the locker room or walk into the DB room, bruh. Bruh. Byron Jones gonna feel some type of way.
I'm very interested on how that's played out. Nobody's mentioned it on Twitter yet, but there's definitely got to be a lot of tension in that locker room with that situation. So I mean, they love, based on what they've been saying, they all feel like Xavien Howard is a big part of the team. They love to see him here. But at the end of the day, obviously, it's not something that's in their control. So we'll definitely continue to monitor this. Based on the Dolphins' stance right now, I mean, obviously they could low-key be trying to trade him, but they can be just saying, hey, we're not looking to trade him. Teams say that all the time. So it looks like right now they're not really looking to trade him, but obviously that could change very quickly. We'll definitely continue to monitor this minor injury that he apparently had in practice. Hopefully it's not serious at all, and he's back tomorrow. Any last comments that you want to mention? Anything that we didn't cover?
Nah, y'all just like, comment, and subscribe. And again, thank you for tuning in to another live episode of Dre and Jay. Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.